I started my journey in the Erasmus Plus world in 2014. Back then, the program was just a newborn. It has just swallowed up the old programs like Leonardo da Vinci, as an example, into one big umbrella. Since then, I have seen two full 7-year cycles, three major world crises, and a total transformation of what it means to be a European project. Welcome to the season finale of our Foundation series. We have traveled a long road together. Over the last 11 episodes, we have deconstructed the budget, the quality standards, and the financial logic, and as well the digital tools. But today, we're going to do something different. We're going to look at the timeline. I started my journey in the Erasmus Plus world in 2014. Back then, the program was just a newborn. It has just swallowed up the old programs like Leonardo da Vinci, as an example, into one big umbrella. Since then, I have seen two full 7-year cycles, three major world crises, and a total transformation of what it means to be a European project. At Alfa Edge, we believe that you cannot lead in the future if you do not respect the past. Today, I'm taking off my manager hat and putting on my historian hat. We're going to look at how the program has evolved from 2014 to 2026. The lesson learned from a decade of mistakes, and most importantly, what the post-27 program is going to look like. If you want to know how to position your organization for the next decade of funding, I believe this is the most important 20 or 30 minutes you will spend this year. Let's look back to look forward. Let's go back to 2014. The Erasmus budget then was around 14 billions. The application forms were static PDFs, and if we are being honest, the program was often seen as tourism certificate. The national agencies were happy just to see people moving across borders. In 2026, the budget is 26 billions. The forms are dynamic, digital ecosystems, and tourism is definitely a dirty word. We have moved from quantity to quality. The 10 years lesson is that in 2014, if your staff went to a course and learned general English, the national agency would give you a 90 score. In 2026, the same projects might get only 40. Why? Because the EU realized that general skills don't solve macro problems. The biggest evolution I have seen in the thematic focus is that the program has become an instrument of policy. It's no longer about education for the sake of education. It's about education as a shield of democracy. At Alfa Edge, we watched this change in real time. We saw the national agencies get stricter and stricter on impact. 10 years ago, dissemination was a Facebook post. Today, as we discussed, it's about exploitation. If you are still managing your projects like it's 2014, focusing on logistics and travel rather than policy alignment, you are a dinosaur, and dinosaurs do not survive midterm reviews. To be a giant in 2026, you must realize that you are a partner in the European Union's political strategy. That is the first lesson of the last decade. In the last 10 years, the Erasmus Plus program has survived three Black Swans events that should have killed it. First, the migrant crisis 2015-2016, which forced us to rethink what inclusion meant. Second, COVID-19, which froze the program for almost 2 years and gave birth to blended mobility and digital transformation. And third, the war in Ukraine, which shifted the entire focus of the program towards European values and democracy. The insider reality: each of these crises changed in the DNA of your grant. Before COVID, digital was a suggestion. After COVID, it became a pillar. Before 2022, participation was a youth sector niche. Now it's the democracy shields that protects our adult education sector. When COVID hit, the winner organizations were the ones who first pivoted to high-quality virtual training that actually felt like mobility. The lesson for you as a project manager is agility is more important than planning. Your Erasmus plan is a living document. The organizations that thrive are those that can look at the European crisis and say, how can my project help solve this? In 2026, the national agency is looking for adaptive leadership. They want to know that if another crisis hits, your organizations won't just stop. You will pivot. That is how you prove you are a trusted organization. Now, let's look into the crystal ball. We are in 2026. In less than 18 months, the negotiation for the post-2027 MFF will reach their peak. What is the next generation of Erasmus Plus going to look like? Based on my 10 years of following the Brussels Pulse, here are my 3 predictions for 2028-2034 cycle. 1. The individual learning accounts integration. I predict that the program will move away from institutional grants and towards individual portfolios. The learner will have more power to choose their own micro-credentials from providers like Alfa Edge. 2. AI-driven personalization. The beneficiary model of 2028 will likely use AI to track your impact in real time. Final reports as we know them might disappear, replaced by continuous data streaming. Number 3. The deep green mandate. Green travel won't be an option, it will be a requirement for any distance under 2,000 kilometers. The strategy for you? If you want to be ready for 2028, you need to start professionalizing your data today. You need to start experimenting with micro-credentials. At Alfa Edge, we are already building our 2028 strategy. We are aligning our courses with the European Digital Credentials for Learning standards. We are moving towards a zero paper host model. If you wait until 2027 to read the new program guide, you will be 3 years behind. The ultimate PM is already preparing for the program that doesn't officially exist yet. This is the level of foresight we bring to our partners. Now it's time for the final alpha audit of season 1. The scenario. You have a veteran project manager who has been with your organization for 8 years. They have all the passwords, all the partner contracts, and all the 10-year history in their head. The mistake? You have no institutional memory. The audit, the project manager leaves, they get a better job, or they retire, suddenly your accreditation is in danger. You don't know where the Erasmus plan update is. You don't know which partner with red flags. The national agency does a monitoring visit and you cannot answer their questions because the person who knew is gone. The result? The national agency flags your organization for lack of operational capacity. They might put your accreditation on probation or reduce your budget until you can prove you have a stable team. The Alpha solution? This is why we advocate for team-based mobility. Don't just send the project manager on a course. Send the director, send the administrative assistants, send the educators. At Alfa Edge, we provide institutional debriefings for our partners. We ensure that the knowledge doesn't stay in one person's head. It becomes part of the organizational culture. In 10 years, I have seen great organizations collapse because they relied on one star PM. A giant organization is a system, not a person. Build your system today, and it will last for the next 10 years. We have reached the end of our pilot season, the foundations of the Alfa Edge blueprint. Over these episodes, we have built a bridge from the trillion-euro budgets of Brussels to the daily reality of your adult education center or your school or your vet education center. We have moved from tourism to strategy, from receipts to impact, and from confusion to authority. But this is only the beginning. You now have the foundations, you have the map, but now it's time to build the house. In the next episode, we move into season 2, the operational masterclass. We are going to stop talking about what and why, and we are going to get into the technical nightmares that keep you up at night. We are starting the next season with an episode that speaks about the final report, telling the story without the stress. I'm going to show you how to write reports that make national agency cry with joy, and how to ensure your final 20% payments arrives on time. If you are ready to be part of the next 10 years of European excellence, visit us at alfaedu.it look at our future-proof courses for 2026 and 2027. I'm Marwan Zahir, and this has been the Alfa Edge Blueprint. We have looked at the past, we have mastered the present, and now let's own the future. I will see you in Season 2.